WeedMD plans to start including a cannabis strain authenticity and tracking platform into its sales. We're joined now by Keith Merker, the CEO of WeedMD. Great to see you again.
Thanks for having me.
Just remind us where you're at with your production. You got a 26,000 square foot indoor facility in Elmer, Ontario, and then you've got a big fancy greenhouse in Strathroy at around 110,000 feet.
We do indeed. That's all licensed, operating, and online today. So we look forward to providing product from that greenhouse, the bulk of which was just licensed at the end of the year, which was our Christmas present over at WeedMD. That product will become available to both the medical and the recreational markets come Q2 of this year. And of course, we're expanding across that greenhouse over time in a very capital efficient manner. So we'll have more than 550,000 square feet actually online by the second half of this year.
So you're fully funded, you say, for just over 600,000 square feet of production capacity. Correct. And then you could, add via outdoor, go to more than 2 million square feet.
You got it.
Where would you put the outdoor in Ontario as well?
So the Strathroy property that we're talking about has 14 acres of greenhouse that's built out on site today, about 100,000 square feet of ancillary structures, and it's a 98-acre property, 50 of which the vendors of the property were previously growing asparagus.
Okay.
So that's well outfitted for us to start growing cannabis. We'll likely start with a smaller footprint to begin with and expand from there.
Okay, so, and talk to that, just remind us, overall, the industry is having trouble producing what it said it would. Are these problems going to be cleared up anytime?
I view the supply-demand imbalance as continuing for the next 24 to 36 months. My personal take is that I discount all of the claims made around, production that will be brought online that, has yet to be proven by a fair margin, given, financial risks, execution risks, and other risks associated with ramping and licensing up those facilities.
Okay, just in part, well, it's just hard to grow tons of this stuff.
It's not easy what we do.
And is it mold and mildew? Is that the thing that's given people problems?
Among other things. I mean, there's logistical problems, everything from the HR issues that you encounter when you've gone from 30 employees to 130 overnight.
Right.
Across the board to, of course, making sure that your product is free of any contamination.
So we should talk to this deal with a company called Blockstrain, which you guys have invested in.
Yep.
So this is not so much testing the plants, it's more just rigorously documenting the plants from the growing to the retail point of sale, because we have seen issues with some of the cannabis that's on the market right now.
Correct. So WeedMD's got a very wide range of genetics at our disposal, which is a huge asset. Doesn't show up anywhere in the balance sheet, but it's enabled us to ramp up very quickly and efficiently, but it's also enabled us to provide a wide spectrum of well sought after genetics, not only to our patients and customers, but ultimately to other licensed producers across the country. And so we sought a way to protect that IP, number one. And we also sought a way to validate and protect the supply chain, because ultimately our consumers and our patients want to know that they can trust that when they open a product that's got the WeedMD label on it, the product that's inside has come from WeedMD and one of its trusted strains. And so by partnering with Blockstrain, we now have DNA analyzed 40 of our different strains. That's now lodged in their systems at Blockstrain, and we can go back and validate any product that anyone has ever received or will receive from WeedMD back to its origins at our facilities.
Although other people have tried to do this. I mean, a lot of plants out there have their individual barcodes, we're hearing.
Sure, but in cannabis, I believe that we are at the forefront, if not very much so leading the pack when it comes to trying to validate the supply chain.
Now, let's get on to show business, because, of course, you got to retail this stuff, and there's always a bit of razzmatazz involved in retailing. So you've teamed up with Pita Pit, which are known for their pitas, the sandwiches with hummus. I'm getting hungry here. What's that deal about?
So this deal is about two great Canadian companies coming together and putting together a platform that will provide aspiring retailers in Canada with access to the knowledge and expertise that we can bring to the table. So if I want to get into the retail game, my life is going to be difficult enough. If I want to get into the cannabis retail game, well, guess what? There's a whole bunch of more layers involved than you may have anticipated. There's licensing and regulations and compliance and so on and so forth. And so we bring to the table not only that retailing experience and the network of operators from the franchisees and the landlords and all across the board with Pita Pit, we marry that with WeedMD's experience in compliance and regulation and cannabis in particular, and we've got this match made in heaven, if you will, when it comes to providing services and a platform to aspiring retailers again in Canada.
Well, a skeptic might say, what does Pita Pit know about selling a regulated product?
You're not wrong, but they know a whole lot about these networks of franchisees, of operating, of landlords. Like, the retail environment is very difficult, and there's a whole bunch of things going on there that Pita Pit has nailed down. They've been very successful over the past 20 years plus in building out this network and operating successfully here in Canada and beyond as a retail and quick service restaurant.
Keith, thanks very much indeed.
Thanks for having me.
Keith Merker joining us there, CEO of WeedMD.